Hello there and welcome to another video. Today is another behind the composition, and yeah, found something really interesting today. Let me show you. So I was walking down here and I've been looking for a long time for composition, and I've been looking for this particular type of light, and I saw this triangular shape in these trees before me there, but at first I couldn't really find a good way to do it, to integrate it into a scene, but then I got the brilliant idea of just narrowing it in, removing the bottom part there and removing the top part. And you might start to guess where this is going. Yes, a bit of a panorama of these trees, focusing in on that particular light there. So that is the basic gist of the composition. Let me show you. Here we can see the composition, and you can see I really framed it in quite narrow, but actually what I've done is zoomed out a little bit just to have a little bit more lenience in post-production. I've included a little bit more than I think that I want on this side at least, but just to have enough room to play a little bit with it in post. But as you can see, the important part in this composition is really the light right here, which is actually the sunlight reflecting in the snow and hitting it back. As you can see, it is actually backlit, but with the sun reflecting back through the snow right there, it is a really interesting lighting phenomenon in a sense. Down here you can see the sunlight is hitting the snow here really brightly, and it's just kicking back light at that tree, and I find that really interesting. One potential problem that I had to work around is that tree there. I really wanted to zoom in on the scene in order to compress it a little bit, so I wanted to stay back in order for that compression to come into play. And this tree here I didn't want in the scene, so yeah, it could have been a problem, but actually it didn't turn out to be one. I just basically tilted the camera upwards and I could just shoot just above those branches right there. If you see here, we're shooting just above those branches, so yeah, worked around that with no real issue at all, so that is great. So the main thing that I wanted in this scene is obviously this tree, the light hitting that particular tree, and the supporting elements that I was looking for, something to move the image along in a sense, so it's not just an isolated tree. And what we have here are basically trees going out in both directions, creating symmetry and balancing out the scene in both the right and the left direction, so that it isn't looking too lonely or too simplistic, but it has a context in that it is in a forest, but also it's not too complex in that it's hard to see exactly what is supposed to be in the scene and what isn't supposed to be in the scene, and what the scene is really all about is really more what I mean. But yeah, an interesting way. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is probably crop it even more, just to emphasize the horizontal, not the lines, but the horizontal nature of the scene, since it is basically the forest spreading in both directions. So that's probably what I think I'm going to do, as well as work a little bit on this side here. Probably just crop it in a little bit, and then here it looks pretty much alright, but I want to keep this tree centered, since that is the main focus of the tree, and the rest of the scene is basically just flowing out from that. So that's been all for this time. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, share it and subscribe in order to stay tuned for more, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Yeah, I'll see you all soon again. Until next time, goodbye.